Well, I know he passed a car right here in front of my driveway, and that kind of car kind of slowed down real fast and hurried.
Yeah, I wonder why. Was that because he was bigger than him?
There we go. Now we can videotape this thing.
Hey, you ought to see the one railroad bridge if you come off of 724 and turn onto 1st Street over in Birdsboro. There's a traffic light there. It's right near it's the doctor's office. I think that's what's on the corner. And when you go to turn there, you can fit a tractor trailer through there. The bridge height is 14.2, and the trailer just fits through exactly through the center. And that's where they have the, the road set up there. They have a wall on one side and the sidewalk on the other. You gotta go right down the middle. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, 10-4. Evening, Renegade. We're waving. You in there, Renegade? Come on. I heard him in there. I don't know what happened.
How about the one down in Delco?
Yeah, 10-4.
Yeah, I guess the Delco boys ought to be in there. There's a lot of, I guess, skip or something in there in the background.
A friend of mine missed a good deal.
He come in there right as Gumby came in, and then I don't know.
Guys, come back to him.
He might have jumped back up to 16. Let me go see.
Oh, is that where they've been hanging? 16.
A friend of mine,
Rigger.
he could have got a Cobra 142 with all the channels, plus a Turner Super Sidekick, Coax, and an Amtron 99 for $20.
We got a breaker out here. Come on, breaker.
Hey, it's Wrench. Just popping in saying hi. Got the realistic TRC 55 up and running. Looks like the clock froze up on me sometime this week, but she's still up and running. Bought an adapter off of eBay for the microphone. Now I'm running my Road Devil off of it. So just wanted to jump in and wave my hand out and say hi to everybody.
That thing sounds really good, that Road Devil.
Well, thank you very much for the compliment. Can't beat $10 off a Let Go.
Wow. See, that's the essence of classic radio collecting. You know, when you find these diamonds in the rough, for $10 here, $20 there, and you don't have to spend a whole lot of cash. You just, the guys on eBay kind of wrecked it. They think that they can get $100 for a generic radio, but that's not the way it works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guy originally had it for 30, but he had it posted saying that there was no power cord. Didn't know if it worked or not. So I said, hey, so would you take 10? Just considering that I'm taking the risk of it not working. He said, yeah, sure, no problem. Got it for $10, brought it home. Found an old, I think it was either TV or DVD player, power cord, the two-prong, plugged it right in the back, powered right up, no problem at all. The microphone had a little short in it, but I got that fixed, the adapter, and everything's good to go now.
Yeah, there you go. Huh. I don't know if I'm on frequency or not. There we go, that's closer. Yeah, that's a good deal, man. It's great when you get something like that, and it turns out to be good without it, not needing a whole lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. Like that power cable sitting around, and then $6 for the adapter off of eBay. I took the stock mic apart tonight, and I found one of the wires had come loose. So if I resolder that, it should be good to go.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's working. I'm impressed. That's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm gonna go hang out with the wife. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. I'll be in and out.
Hey, Wrench, for short.
All right, Reg, we'll see you later. Have a good one.
You too.
That clock, if it quit working. Push the gear on the motor, it might
Yeah. Check it in, check it in.
Hey, I have one here, you won't believe it, but the clock still works on it. On a Pace 1000, it has the flip clock.
Anybody else hear Space Lady out there by chance?
Is she in there now?
I thought I just heard her.
I'll have to turn the beam around then. Yeah, classic radio Roundup.
How about that Space Lady? Space Lady, you got a copy on the Keystone? Every day's the best. You know which one you're going to do. That way I'll be here. I said, you know which one of 2 days you want to do.
Holy moly. A lot more noise this way.
Yeah, it's supposed to be nice all weekend, they're saying. Yeah. There's just too many of them, I can't make them out. Well, don't come too early now.
Sounds like you have a beam up my way.
Well, I have it west, which is more or less that way, I guess. But boy, there's a lot of skip in there when I point it this way. I have it the other way, I don't hear nothing.
Man, you sound choice now.
Well, you know, I'm in your face now.
Hey, if I can get a hold of the guy, I have an opportunity to get one of the 4-leg super scanners.
A 4-leg.
10-4. But, I ended up falling asleep around 10 o'clock and I had to call him at 10:30.
Super scanner never made a 4-leg. That was only 3. The only 4-leg I know is a Turner antenna, the super signal kicker, ultra kicker.
Ah, good.
And that's probably what it is then. Are they good beams?
I never knew anyone that ever had one. I've never seen one around. I've only seen them in catalogs.
Well, evidently this guy has one when he moved in the house. It was up in the house. He took it down and checked it out before he took it down. It still works.
Well, that's a unique antenna.
Yeah, I can't get out of the hole.
There was a guy that had one when you go down 422 into Collegeville. He used to live in the apartment right next to the highway drive-in. In that house there, there was an apartment on the top floor. He got permission from the owner to put an antenna on the chimney, and he had a super scanner up there on a rotor.
When you sell a vehicle, that person has to pay taxes.
Get used to it, bro. That's the way the whole world's going, most especially in Georgia. Henry County, most especially.
Hey, George, get out of our radio. We're up here on Classic Radio Roundup in Pennsylvania. 215 Gumby said that.
Shut them out. They'll get out there, me and you. We won't get out there and protest like they will. We're just going shit about it, right?
Yeah, a bunch of snowflakes.
You know that's right. The squeaky wheel gets old. If you do something to satisfy you, to quieten you down, that's why the gauge will let they are in the winter.
And this radio is nice.
How a white man just sits around bitches to himself about it, he don't get out and do nothing about it.
It's too much noise. I'm gonna have to put the antenna around again.
I mean, how wrong?
That's why I got out there and helped you. That is a little bit higher than usual.
Goddamn, get together and group up or something, you know. Protest them closing Nash Farms, get your sign out there and protest, just like they'd do if it was, if you don't close Nash Farms, you know what I'm saying?
There we go. I knocked the noise back down again.
Just the way the damn world is, it's just like the saying goes. The wheel that bitches the most on a wagon, you got four wheels and one of them squeaks, and the other ones don't. That's the one that's gonna get the oil, the other ones ain't gonna get shit.
I put some WD-40 on that wheel that squeaks and it won't squeak.
Oh, what the heck?
Represents the exact same thing. You're exactly right, but who's gonna do that?
Don't know. And this is Classic Radio Roundup on 27.115 on your AM radio dial, channel 13.
Holy skipland.
Ah, there's Sparky.
And Crockett's in there, and you guys are in there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of hash and trash in here. It seems to be growing in intensity, but guess you kind of expect that this time of year. I'm waiting for Night Ranger, but he's not showing up yet.
Well, 10-4, yeah, we just got back. Figured I'd drop a line.
Yeah, no sign of Pete, though. I guess he got waylaid again.
Hey, there's Ranger. Good to hear you, Sandbagger. Ranger, I heard you all the way out to the Philly interchange. It was sporadic, like I heard you good in Willow Grove, and then I lost you, but you came back in and at Route 1 interchange there on your way into work today.
Ah, 10-4, on this radio.
Yeah, must have been.
What time was that? That was probably before 6 then.
Yeah, I had to meet a guy in 6 over in Jersey.
Yeah, 10-4.
010. So anyway, Sparky, you up for a game of Name That Radio?
Sure.
Yeah, what radio do you think I'm running tonight?
Utopia, 623.
Wrong answer.
That would be the Washington.
You guys.
Ooh, boy, that's a good one. You get the prize for that.
It sounds sounds good. You got it in the audio section there a little bit, or just got it straightened out? It sounds pretty good. It's got some bottom to it.
Oh, she's got some bottom to it. This thing is right there with the Galaxy now.
Been baggerized.
I completely redesigned the modulator. Totally. It's no longer using the modulation transformer. I converted it over to the regulator modulator system that the Galaxy uses, and you know, just completely redid it. And man, she goes from like 60 hertz all the way up to 8 kilohertz and flat as a board. And well, in a woman you probably wouldn't want to be that way, but in a high fidelity radio, yeah, baby.
Yeah, I got a little bit of forward swing on you there too. 7 pound swing and 8 forward, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not even completely done. I got some more things I want to try. There's a peak enhancing mod I want to try, and you know, a couple other things here just to clean things up. But this thing's got lots of potential now, man. Unbelievable.
I have a question.
Oh, now I got to look for that external speaker even more so now.
Yeah, this radio is is coming along really nicely now. I'm really liking this thing.
It looked real clean on the front, like if you detailed it, it'd be almost perfect, right?
Now, it's got a little scratch on the top here, and a few scratches here and there, but other than that, yeah, it's not really in bad shape. I got one segment in the tens position on the LED, that the bottom segment of the 13, the 1 is burned out. So I'm going to have to see about replacing that.
I have a question for one of you.
And the answer is 3.
What does a transistor compressor amplifier do to the radio?
A compression amplifier?
Yeah, what is that? What kind of sound does that add to the radio?
He means compressor.
Well, speech compression is a means to bring your average modulation up without over-modulating. It's kind of like an external modulation equalizer, let's just, well, that's a bad term because that implies frequency, but it keeps the level of the modulation sort of constant, like a modulation limiter would. So you can, you know, you can set your average modulation sitting there like 80-85%, and you know you can hear a baby fart in the next room, and you know you can get right up on the microphone and not over-modulate it.
810-4. Yeah, because I actually have, as on here, B&K Cobra transistor compression amplifier.
Ah, Cobra made a compression amp, huh? How about that?
Yeah, it says B&K on it.
Yeah, it's Cobra's parent company.
I heard somebody call Cumbia out there. Hey, where are you at?
They're on classic radio Roundup.
I was wondering where the guys had to mention my handle.
I didn't hear it.
Sound like somebody mentioned Gumby out there. Yeah, I almost think that this thing should actually be wired up for a radio that does not have a have a mic gain on it.
No, mic gain doesn't mean anything. That's just a way of adjusting your level. doesn't really do much, you know, doesn't add anything.
Well, I actually have it wired up for the Simba.
Simba's three-prong.
10-4. Hey, I'll tell you what I saw in it at his shop last night. He has a courier, not a courier, I mean a Centurion in there. The one that has a clock that almost looks like has the exact same board that the Simba has in it.
Yeah, it's a Courier Centurion. I used to have one of those.
He has one in there. The case was messed up on it. So what he did was he put some like a light brown contact paper on it, and he put hinges in the back of the lid, and it opens up like a trap.
I guess that's handy if you need to get into the radio a lot.
Yeah, it really looks nice. I want to add that one to my collection, but I don't have the greenies right now.
Yeah, that's a common problem.
Well, a friend of mine gave me this radio, this Cobra 32, and he said to me, hey, Gumby's have the radio done, because I forget what it was, there was a problem with the receive on it. So he fixed it, tuned it up, and he said, have your radio done, he said, $25. So I'm thinking, damn, I don't have the money, I want to pick it up. And I'm not going to have it because it's tight this month, because of taxes. I had a duplicate Pierce Simpson 40-channel Tiger A, and I took that in and swapped it.
There you go.
Well, that was a good thing. So I got this and picked it up off of it.
Roger, right on. Classic radio round. Yeah, ooh, there we go.
Yeah, I had my talkback radio on that I've hooked up a realistic, and I was listening. This sounds pretty decent.
Yeah, I have an ICOM for a talkback radio. Yeah, even with the wide filter on there too. Look at that. The wide filter, here's all that wide band audio.
Hey, I had a Midland Mobile, I forget what it was, an 828 I think it was. And that was one of the ones you had to have the mic plugged in to receive on it. And he was going to throw it out. And I was going to use it for parts. Hey, I said, wait a minute. It says receive work on it. He said, yeah, but you need a mic for it. I said, can you run a jumper wire on it? He said, sure, I can do that. So there was something else wrong in the transmit circuit, but the chip in it that I needed for transmit, he knows worked, but he couldn't find some other parts for it because they weren't available. So what he did was, here a couple months ago, he asked me, hey, he said, do you still have that Midland used for a test radio? I said, yeah. He said, can bring it in, I need some parts out of it, so I'll give you another radio for it.
Yeah. Good old Midlands. Gotta love them though.
I have a 23-channel upper and lower sideband. I forget the model number of it. But what I do is I pull the number one crystal out of it and put some uppers in it.
Yeah, I got that one of my radios. I've got, you know, because you really can't use it on sideband much on 23 channels, so I put the crystal in there for 36 to 40 and pulled like 1, 2, 3, and 4 out or something.
Yeah, it's a 13892.
Oh, an 892. Wow, that's the one with the vertical meter.
Yeah. And 1 through 4 has 26, 27, 28, 30 in it.
Yeah, that's the one that shares a chassis with a Royce, I think. It's very Royce-like.
Okay, here's one for you. Figure out what this one is. The Midland 77-849.
Oh, it's a 40 channel. 849, I'm not familiar with.
It has a push-button mic on it for up and down for the channel selectors.
Ah, one of those.
Yeah, it's a nice radio. It has the 40 channel features in it. And then from channel 10 to channel 40, it goes from 26.435 up to 26.765.
Roger, roger, roger.
Yeah, when I bought it off of him, he told me about it and I forgot about it. So I went stuck in the motorhome, but why the hell can't I hear anybody on 19? And I thought, oh shit, which way is that switch supposed to be? So I stuck another radio in there, and I got home, I had to hook it up to the frequency card to find out where the hell I was at. So actually I was on 19, I had the noise blanket switch up, and it was actually on 26.545.
Where the heck is that Night Ranger at? He's missing a good opportunity to get in on Classic Radio Roundup tonight. Poofy, baby.
I got 10 working. Now I need some mobile. I have the 9 and the 10 DAC.
Their mobiles weren't all that great. They're just generic radios.
Yeah, I do love the feature on the bases though. You know, the transistorized receive and the board, and then the tube to transmit. Whoever came up with that idea for it is awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of baggage though. Well, the 9's not too bad. The 10 had a lot of trouble. I mean, people try to peak them up and stuff, and then they ran into trouble because it didn't have enough extra capacity to handle the extra power, and it would burn up the modulators in them and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what Doc did. You know, Dr. Brain. He peaked it up and it did that. You know, it did some damage to it. But I got the 9 sit. Well, I'm saying it's sitting on the floor, but it's not sitting on the floor. It's actually sitting on a 4-legged platform. You know, maybe about a foot off the ground. But I'm gonna have to dig that one out sometime and put it on again. But the problem is, I gotta get the receive boosted up on it because the receive sucks.
Well, there ain't too much you can do other than align it. You align it to best receive, and other than that, there's not a lot you can do. You can maybe play around with the front-end transistor, put a hotter one in there, or, you know, there's a lot of, but there's very little else you can do. I mean, some of these radios just have bad designs, and, you know, you really can't get away from it.
Well, some of the pure symptoms come from the factory. Now, I don't know about the mobile, but the bases that rather than have the blanker hooked up to cut out background noise, some of them had them hooked up. There's a spot there you can run a jumper wire from the board for that. And it actually works up as a 3 dB gain preamp.
Oh, you have to add that. Well, I'll see. Not too many radios have preamps built in.
But I know my sender actually came from the factory like that, because when I bought it off of Steve at Yak Shack, I said something to him about, nice, I didn't hook that up. See, that must have been in there from the factory.
I don't have anything like that in my Simba.
Well, it's on the board there. If you can find that spot, you can hook it up as a preamp.
Like I said, there's nothing in there that it looks like a preamp to me. I mean, there's a noise blanker in there. It's not a preamp.
Tap around on the bottom of the board, on some of the circuits there, and you find touching with your finger, you will find that particular spot where your receiver will come up. That's where the preamp's at.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical of that. Touching around with your finger. I had a little bit of capacitance or something somewhere, but yeah.
Well, on the Tiger, on the Pierce Simpson Tiger, the 40 channel that I had 5-1 hook it up. It's in about the middle of the board.
Yeah, I'll have to look at the schematic again and see if there's any. I didn't see anything like that.
Let me take the bottom off and I'll look to see exactly where it's at, see if I can find the number.
Somebody shoot me. Where'd you go, Sparky?
I'm in there. I'm just kind of listening to you guys in the background and Skip Land in the foreground.
Shouldn't it be the other way around?
Yeah, well, you guys get over them, but I can't hear Gumby too much. But the guys are funny. They were talking about a story about how the one boyfriend put some hot sauce in the girl's G-string, and it wasn't such a good idea, and he ended up having to pour milk on it.
What some people won't do.
That sounds a little kinky.
Yeah, these guys, I guess they're Arkansas, wherever they're at down there. Pretty funny.
Yeah, I had to beam around to the west a little bit ago because Ranger said he thought he heard Space Lady in there, and I wanted to catch her in there, but I heard a whole lot of stuff, and then it drove me nuts because it was too noisy. I had to turn the antenna around again. Plus, I can't hear you guys when I have it that way.
Yeah, if you get her, ask her about Little Brother. That was the thing I caught the last. She's like, oh, something Little Brother, blah, blah, and I was like, oh, darn.
Yeah, oh, maybe you'll hear her in there. Give her a yell if he's coming in.
Yeah, he would come in with her and come in late, night train. He would talk with him, and then I think he had a girlfriend or a wife, Eagle Feather or something.
Aha, there you go.
I talked to Train tonight on the way home, and we were both in the Mobile, so maybe he's in there listening.
Yeah, or maybe he'll show up at a time, at his discretion.
I was late to the party.
Yeah, so was I. I was almost an hour late. Yeah, my daughter had her senior pictures taken, and we had dinner, and by the time I got home, it was almost 9 o'clock.
Yep, and then on the way home, I heard Ranger out there on his mobile. Forget what he was talking about, but he couldn't hear me. I was too far away. And that was like down in Willow Grove. He was almost home. I think that's when I talked to Trey, and I mentioned Ranger earlier, and you had already made it home, Ranger, if you're still in there.
Yeah, I was talking on 19, and then I jumped to 20 because I was talking to Taco on the way home about a CB question, and then Sparkplug came in there, and he said he could hear us, so...
Well, your radio's working.
He kept on wanting to hear Taco. He was calling Taco's name because I was calling Taco.
Yeah, man, that Cobra 200 technology.
Yeah.
That's a Ranger.
Oh, you got the Ranger 6900 or something? Is that what that one is?
It's a 63.
Oh, yeah. There you go. AM, FM, baby. I talked to some guys on FM in Florida the other night, right here.
Yeah, 10-4. No, it's out there. I just plug into the mobile sometimes for a little extra power.
Yeah, it's a great radio, man. I got one. I was thinking of selling the Junkyard. He wanted one a ways back, but haven't heard on there lately. And the guy bought that off of, he was running that into a Dave X-Force straight 4 2879 box.
Ooh, that's a nice box to have.
You said you have a 6300? If you're interested in, I would be looking to get another one.
I know, you gotta have backups, right?
Yeah.
When the striker goes down, you need another.
Yeah, you need one for those inevitable MOSFET meltdowns.
Yeah, and you know you'll fix it, you'll get round to it. I usually do it in a wave. Ah, those things. You really got to watch the heat on them. The next one I'm doing, I'm going to put a fan right inside, blowing right at them.
Yeah, if the bias was thermally compensated properly, you wouldn't have to worry about the heat. Because it isn't the heat that kills them, it's the thermal runaway.
Which is caused by the...
It's caused by the heat, but it's only a symptom of a much larger problem.
Well, I've noticed that it does get a little warm, but not to the point where it's overheating. I try to keep it cool. You keep your key downs low.
Well, that one doesn't have MOSFETs in it.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's got the two peels in there, 2290s in the amp, and the finals are probably 2307s or something, maybe older. If it's 1969s, if it's really an old one.
Yeah, they're basically made of unobtainium.
Well, doesn't, Skeeter has a 69, don't he?
He does. I've heard him talk on that off the Penrose Bridge. What do they call that, 291 or something? One of those bridges. What's the two bridges down there?
They heard me everywhere talking on that one.
you were getting out.
6900 F-150 just got down.
That's the one.
In the Mud Duck Mobile.
If it's a 2 that I think it is, it's a pretty good radio. It's actually got some power to it.
How much power?
I didn't. Does 149 on the bird.
What, peak? Or dead carrier?
I guess it's peak.
That's not too shabby. 150 watts.
Yeah, it does work pretty good. It sounds good. Good strong radio. Cuts right through that stuff. Good little mobile.
Yeah, you don't need to run an amp, small amp anyway. Perfect for the kind of setup I'm running. That's why I got that ICOM in the car.
Very good.
Hey, you just need a good source right off the battery or something, and you're good to go. Hello, Gumby.
Okay, you ready for this? We're about where that's at for that preamp.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Okay, there's a little tuning pod there. T109. There's two resistors behind it. And the one behind that looks like D108. It looks like it might be the two right in the middle between that. It's in around there somewhere if you want to probe around and try to find where it's at.
Yeah, I have to pull the schematic up again when I get a chance.
I'm taking a guess that the symbol might be maybe basically the same, as far as for approximate area. I'm not positive on that, but that's where it's at on the Tiger if you want to check it out on that. And all you do is just run two jumper wires from there and tap into the noise blanker and have the preamp.
That just seems kind of hokey. Why would they put something like that in there and then not use it without modification?
Well, believe it or not, it actually is a benefit. Because here a long time ago, when Experimenter was working on radios, I took it up to him when I was up in Leesport. He said, "Dumpy," he said, "where are you at?" He said, "I can't hear you." He said, "I can just barely hear you." So I told him, "Say, Experimenter," I said, "push your noise blanker." I said, "That's not going to do anything." I said, "Just push it on." Oh, you did that? He said, "Boy, now I can hear you." He said, "He came up 3 dBs." He said, "That's the first time I ever saw that." He said, "That's an extra goodie they have, if it's hooked up."
That's just weird.
Yeah, but think about it though. It is an advantage. And you're actually not doing anything to hurt the radio. You're not modifying anything switch-wise.
I know when I turn the noise blanker on my Simba, people's signals drop a little bit.
Yeah, but if you hook it up that way, it actually brings it up for the preamp. It actually brings it up 3 to 4 dBs. The one that blew up, if the lightning took it out, that one had it hooked up. I'm not sure about this one. I'll have to check the other one. It might be hooked up in that one. There's a little bit of trivia for you if you want to check something out.
I'll be back.
Roger, roger.
And you know yourself, a built-in preamp in the radio is always a good thing.
If indeed that's what it is.
Believe me, it brings the signal up. Now you think about how good the preamp is in the Pride 100. Plus, for turning that on, man, does that give you the double to receive.
Yeah, any problem is it brings the noise up with it.
Yeah, but it's nicer when you want to hear somebody way out.
Yeah. But if they're giving you a 3 and the noise level is a 2.5, and you turn it on and now they're giving you a 6 and the noise level is a 5.5, it really didn't buy you much.
Yeah, basically for the barefoot radio itself, it's not too bad. Yeah, it works pretty decent.
Yeah, receiver preamps work better on sideband because there's a lot less noise. so it'll pull the signal out of the mud better. The wind's starting to kick up outside. I guess the rain's coming.
Yeah, maybe that's something I shouldn't have told you.
Get that boat all covered up, Skeeter?
Maybe he's out there sea foaming it.
Yeah, I pulled my boat out today and moved it back to the other garage so I could work on it. I was running my snowblower today because I haven't run it in a while. I gotta get ready to put it away for the summer, but the engine's not running all that well. I think the gas must have started going sour in it. It's running a little uneven. So I guess I'm gonna have to go out and get a can of fuel system cleaner or something to run it through it.
Yeah, it got gassy.
Yeah, I got stale gassy.
Sounds like my little
Breaker.
I had some gas from last year, and I had some gas from the snowblower, and
In my breaker.
I had that old gas. I mixed the two of them together, give me 2 gallons. Boy, does that thing run uneven till you get to start cutting the grass, then it's fine.
Yeah, we got a breaker. Got a breaker?
Yeah, is that Sparky out here out there?
Sparky and Sandbagger and Gumby out there.
Hey, I got that TRC 55 realistic running now. Clock ended up freezing up on me sometime during the week, but I bought a adapter off eBay for the microphone. I hooked up my Road Devil, and she's running nice and strong now.
So you're on a TRC, what was it, 55?
Roger that.
Cool. Do you hear Wrench? Sandbagger, I know he hears you.
Oh yeah, Wrench is booming in here. He's over S9.
Hey, Red.
Welcome to Classic Radio Roundup.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been in and out. I was out here at 8 o'clock this evening, and it was all quiet, so went up and hung out with the wife for a little bit, popping in and out.
Right.
Yeah, it's radio Roundup.
Somebody out there calling for Wrench?
Yeah, Gumby is. I would suggest for you what you do with that clock. Sometimes the motors stick a little bit in them, because I know the cymbal, stuck one time, and what I did was I just took a little bit, actually turned on its side because the motor was sideways. Just put a little drop of sewing machine oil on it, and then I took a screwdriver, a small screwdriver, and just started pushing it a little bit, and actually started working again.
Yeah, I'll check that out. I tried putting some dry film lube on it, and that didn't seem to help. And then probably about an hour after I did that, then it just kind of went kaput on me.
Yeah, usually it's not the gears outside the clock motor that are a problem. It's usually the mechanism inside the little metal can, the sealed metal can. And what I've done already is you take a little tiny drill and you drill 2 holes in the metal can on opposite sides there, and then you get a little spray nozzle and spray some dry graphite lubricant in there, and then let it flow through, and then put a piece of tape over the holes, and it'll usually free it up. And if not, then the motor's completely shot. But sometimes it'll buy you some life.
Yeah, Roger that. Yeah, I remember you telling me last week about that, and I did try that. Doing the small little holes and then spraying in there. But I think by the time I got to it, it was pretty much all gone. When I took it apart, it was there was a lot of debris and a lot of dust and everything. Basically from everything burning up from in there. So I think it was already gone by the time I got to it.
It was toast.
That's a shame. Because you want your classics to work. Because I got a couple here that are like that. You know, the clocks are just shot in them, and I've just disconnected them because they make noise or whatever, or the buzz. But I like a couple of them work okay. My Cobra 135, the clock works okay. The Simba works okay, and my 885 Midland works okay. But some of them don't. And that's a shame.
Yeah, it was neat. I mean, at least I got to see it run for a little while before it did die, so it was kind of neat. But yeah, it's stuck on the alarm, and it won't turn off, so I end up having to take a piece of electrical tape and wrap the alarm bar electrical tape to keep it from constantly buzzing.
You can't change the time of the alarm, so it's out of it?
Nah, I think something froze up in there. I mean, I can change the alarm time, but nothing seems to click when I switch it. So I think something either froze or I missed a spring when I put everything back together.
Cut the wire to the buzzer.
Yeah, something's amiss there in the mechanicals then, because you should be able to pull it out of there. It's like a little cam that kicks in when you reach your alarm time and it makes it buzz. But yeah, it sounds like you got some mechanicals there that are in need of tender loving care.
Yeah, roger that.
I just turn those clocks off. I set them for 12 o'clock, and I just unplug them or undo a wire or something, because I don't feel like listening to them. I just make sure they work, and they're looking great at 12 o'clock.
And they're right twice a day.
I don't know, it's a geek in me or what, but I just love when the on-air light lights up and the modulation, blinks. That to me is just like, Christmas time.
Yeah, I'd like to have a radio base station with any of those. Remember them flipper dials, the old flipper alarm clocks? They had them in a couple CBs, I think.
Yeah, like Cobra 135's like that.
Cobra 135 has the flippers.
Yeah, I like those.
My Pace 1000 has a...
Oh yeah, the Pace, the side talker.
Yep, that's another one.
I'd love to have one of those. The 13, or the 23 channel one.
I'll tell you one that I do have. It's actually not original radio. By President Dwight, by Dwight D. That one actually, the clock actually fit in it, and 501 found another clock was actually the same size, and it's actually a small flipper, and he put that in and it works. That's one I'll have to hook up some night.
That's it. No pain, no strain. I'm just tickled to death that this thing worked out really well in the modulation. I thought, well, here goes nothing. and I took the modulation to it and it worked. And I'm like, wow, engineering at its finest.
Well, you're kind of familiar with that board, right? That's a very classic, is it 858 board in there? What's in there?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the board, but this radio is a little older school, and it had a little regulator circuit in there, which was nothing more than a voltage regulator, and it just adjusted the voltage going through the modulation transformer. And, it still put the AM modulation on via the modulation transformer. Later radios, like the 142 chassis, and then going, on in time, they dispersed with the modulation transformer, and they went with they actually took the regulator and they modulated the regulator. They got smart. They figured out that, hey, we can throw modulation to the regulator and make it work. And And it actually works better because see, modulation transformers don't go down really low in frequency unless there's enough ferrite there. And usually you need a big honking transformer for it to work, and they're not real efficient that way. But this electronic version works really well. It's flat. It'll go all the way down if you put enough capacitance in there. And so I basically built in the circuit that was in the Galaxy. Had to change some parts around and add some parts, and it isn't like it used to be, but it works better now.
Okay, did you have to get a little mini breadboard in there?
No, I didn't do that. I used some spots in the board that I vacated from old parts, and then I dead bugged it on the other side. And so on the top side it looks kind of neat, but the bottom side there's some parts standing up in there. But now that I know it works, I'll probably clean it up a little bit more when I get everything all finalized.
You can do like the truck stops do, wrap it in styrofoam and some black tape.
Yeah, I can put it in epoxy. But now, see, that was the thing that started me down this path, because I was looking at the modulation originally, and it just was distorted. It wouldn't go all the way down to the zero crossing on the negative trough, which probably isn't always a bad thing, but, when I started removing the low-pass filters and stuff like that I remember usually fixing that, but then I found out that the audio amp in here, the chip audio amp, would distort. It was flat-topping on one side and not the other, and that was the source of that modulation distortion. And I'm thinking, well, I don't have another audio amp chip to throw in there, and I didn't feel like dicking around with values on that. I said, well, let me just go with a different route. So I completely eliminated the need for the modulation chip. That's not used anymore, and the modulation transformer, all that stuff is just strictly for receive now, and the transmitter has bypassed all that.
Yeah, I like it. I like the sound. It's full, rich. It's not overdriven. Sounds good in my big JBL control monitor.
Yeah, I just switched out to the D104 mic. How's this sounding?
Not bad. Doesn't sound much different than the other one, really. Is that a handheld mic?
This is a D104 desktop.
Really? It doesn't have that D104 depth to it. Sounds like a handheld mic.
It's working. It just doesn't match with that radio. It has like a thin, nasally kind of sound.
Okay. Yeah. When I off key, does it squelch at all? Because when I off key, then I get a little bit of feedback through my speaker.
No, you can't hear it over the air.
Is it continuous or just a chirp?
Yeah, my Spark-O-Matic does that. It does like a little whoop when you unkey it.
I notice mine does a little chirp when I key it, but,
Got any mics you can toss at it? Any handhelds or anything? French?
I have the one that you gave me with the Grumpy's Cobra.
Yeah, throw it on there. See, you never know. Sometimes it's not so much about the mic frequency, it's about the impedance match into that circuit.
And some radios are very sensitive to receive the desk mics. The 4-wire desk mics short the white wire to ground on receive, and some radios don't get very upset when you do that. You have to have a 6-wire mic for those.
Alright, so how does this one sound?
Sounds more mellow. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's bassier sounding.
Yeah, it's the Aries A520.
Yeah, it's got a little more bottom to it.
Anybody know anything about these 55s?
What, the radio?
Yeah, I got a knob here. It says fine tuning, and it's got 3 positions: a negative, a 0, and a positive. But I have no clue what it's used for.
Yeah, it adjusts your receiver slightly up or slightly down in frequency. So if somebody you're listening to is slightly off frequency, you can pull them in a little better. So when it's in the zero position, that means you're on frequency with your transmitter. You go minus, it drops you about a half a kilohertz or 1 kilohertz. And you go plus, it'll raise you up, half or a kilohertz, depending on what the radio is designed to do.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah, they're not always centered either. So how do we sound better? Towards the plus side, in the middle, or on the minus?
I don't know. I have to keep playing around.
Are you driving?
It'll make me turn on my baby driver.
He's off today, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are better on center.
Well, that's a good thing, and that means it's adjusted.
Yeah, it means the radio isn't off frequency or out of alignment.
Cool. I like it. Yeah, no dealing with the crazies today.
Yeah, nobody likes to deal with crazies.
I was in North Jersey today. Does that count?
Let's see. So far this week, I've had a suicide attempt, a fire, and a staff assault. So, yeah, it's been an interesting week.
What are you, an EMT?
Corrections. I work at Grayford State Prison.
You work at the prison? Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, my cousin works there, but she's a nurse.
What shift?
Used to be nights, but I don't know if she's still on nights now or not.
We have a lot of friends that work over there. It's a good employer. Good benefits, right?
I think she's back on days now, though, because I think she got tired of nights. But yeah, it is good benefits there.
Yeah, you get a pension and everything, right?
Yeah.
It's like unheard of anymore.
Yeah, it's slightly just above like a 401k, 401k. They put some in towards it, and then you can match it, however much more you want to put in. But yeah, they do have a small pension that goes with it. Medical benefits is pretty decent too.
Could you get into like the FOP credit union or something? That they have really good rates.
Yeah, I can get to FOP. I can get into. There's a couple other ones that deal with like law enforcement stuff. But right now, I deal with USA through the military since I'm a veteran, and I get a lot of good deals straight through them.
I like their TV commercials.
Yeah.
Feel good, it's America. That's why I watch One American News Network, OAN, man. It's just so smooth and mellow, and then they kind of tell it like it is, and it's an alternate type of voice. If you have FiOS, Verizon has it. You will not find it on MSNBC affiliate Comcast.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, no Vias in my area yet, just Comcast or satellite. So I did have satellite for a while, but I went back to Comcast.
Yeah, you might be able to check One American News out online. I'm sure they do a streaming or something like that. Very nice. They're based out of San Diego, so they're laid back, but it's weird. It's like a conservative voice in Southern California.
Oh, wow.
Check that out.
A conservative voice in California? Oh my God, that's like ordering a hamburger at a fish place.
I know. It's funny though, because when you start, you see people post that on Facebook or whatever, and these guys will chime in. They're like, "No, we're out here," and it's like you hear like two people and then crickets.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's a political session of our edition of Classic Radio Roundup.
Yeah, that's how I get about as far as I want to go. So I don't want to drive the taxi off the cliff.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in the rut.
Yeah, luckily my firearms are still locked up.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
and they're under my control.
Kimberton Hamfest is coming up here. I have a note somewhere.
Uh-oh.
Oh, please let it be the day I actually have off.
Saturday the 8th.
Yeah, they have a breaker out there.
Saturday the 8th. All right, cool. Thank you, Ranger, for the Kimberton Hamfest at the Kimberton Fairgrounds off of Route 113, I think it is. Is that 23 or 113?
Oh, that's right. They're the oddball. They like to do Saturdays. Usually Hamfests are on Sundays.
If I'm not mistaken, they're not allowed to do a Sunday anymore? Isn't it Friday and Saturday?
I don't know about that. Never heard anything like that. Others are still Sunday.
Only in Quakertown.
Is Kimberton down in our area here?
Yeah, it's down off of Route 23 there.
Yeah, it's actually past Phoenixville.
East side of French Creek.
Just on the other side of Schuylkill.
Okay.
Yeah, that down near the skating rink?
Yeah, there used to be one down there. I don't think it's there anymore.
Oh, the building's still there. They just don't use it anymore. That's a shame. That's a damn good little rink.
Is it across from Queen's Appliance or something?
The wooden floor.
Yep.
Queen's Appliance.
Yep.
What date did you say that was?
Saturday the 8th of July.
Of course, I'm working.
And of course, I'll be at a softball tournament.
Yeah, we have a breaker out there.
Go ahead, Breaker.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing. Hey, take it down more.
Hallelujah.
The frequency is clear.
Did anybody else hear him?
No, I don't have the antenna pointed up that way, so.
Yeah, mine's pointing straight up and down.
Thought I heard smokestack in there.
Well, Smokestack, if he's in there, say hello.
Hey, the IMAX is a omnidirectional, correct?
Yep.
So if I mount it on the side of a tree, whatever side of the antenna the tree is, facing the tree, that tree's going to be blocking my reception in, right?
It's going to have some effect on it, yeah.
Roger.
But the trick is to get it up above the tree.
If I wasn't willing to go on my roof, I don't think I'm going to go all the way up top of that tree.
Why would you want to put it in the tree in the first place? Where you got it now seems to be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm a little leery when we start getting these winds coming up. It sways pretty good right now. And I looked today, and I'm trying to figure out how I can hook up some guy wires to it, but I can't quite figure it out. But I was wondering if I can, put it in a tree. I can mount it a little bit more solid in there. But I'd have to do a long run on cable.
The IMAX is the wet noodle of antennas.
I was going to say, what's swaying on your antenna? Is it just the top half of the antenna, or is the pole and everything swaying?
It's the pole and everything. I got about probably 15 feet of pole, and then the IMAX on top of that. That's free swing, no mounts above that.
Yeah, because the top part of the IMAX is fairly flexible, and that, it bends in the wind so that it kind of takes the load off of it. But if your whole mast is moving, then it's probably a good thing you don't have it on your old mount, because that was probably not as strong as what you got now.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, it's the antenna stuff I'm not worried about. I've seen that flex, and I know that's what they're meant for. But yeah, it's where I'm using fence posts or fence railing as the top railing, so the two pieces slide into one another, and that's where I can start seeing a lot of the bend. And even on a calm day, if it's not even moving, I can see it has kind of an arc to it, right where the two poles join together. You know, where it's starting to look like it's already starting to mold to the wind.
Oh man. Well, you know, yeah, you don't want to strap an antenna right to a tree though, because that'll throw the SWR out of whack and everything, because it'll interact with it, because there's moisture in a tree, so it's gonna have some effect. You want to have it spaced away from the tree, or like I said, preferably sticking up above the top of it.
Yeah, roger. Yeah, the tree in my backyard is an oak tree, and I would say it's probably close to 100 years old. It was probably planted when the house was built, so it's pretty big, pretty tall. So I'm thinking probably about 50, 60 feet tall.
Yeah, if you can get the antenna up in the tree there, and put a 10-foot piece of mast and strap it to the top of the tree and have it stick up above there, then you'd be good to go, man. That would be ideal. But if you can't climb the tree, then I guess it's no point in talking about it.
Yeah, roger that.
He has spikes, they go up there, they'll give him steel lag bolts, they'll still lag it right down.
There we go.
A couple of ratchet straps. That's what they do, they climb up there.
Yeah, I watched a video on YouTube, the guy did that, and he was overlooking the whole valley, putting up an antenna on top of top of a tree cutoff. It was pretty impressive.
I have a sycamore 70 feet in the yard that I would like to put my antenna on, but I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was a kid, I had no fear of heights at all. I used to climb on roofs all the time. Now that I get older, I don't know if I'm just becoming a wimp or just more aware of what hurts when you fall.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I was never afraid to climb anything. Now I'm becoming more in tune with my own mortality.
Exactly.
And does the insurance cover you falling out of a tree?
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're young, you fall out of a tree and you pick yourself up and brush off the dirt and you go about your business. Now you're like, I don't want to be in the hospital for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you start thinking about all those bills you got to pay while you're laying in the hospital.
Or on the way down. This is gonna hurt. Oh yeah. Eventually I'll get enough coax. I'm gonna run up that tree. I'm gonna try to get my antenna above that tree.
Nice.
Ron did it. He hired a local.
I have the spikes. I have the rope. I just need a good rope guy on the bottom just to hold me off, and I can probably do it myself, so.
On belay.
Wonder Boy's been known to do that for folks, for a fee probably, but successfully. See that, Ron?
Well, Jim, I'm going to go up and check on the wife. I'll catch you guys later on. Nice hearing everybody tonight.
Night, Wrench.
See you, Wrench. Good to hear you on the Classic Radio Roundup.
Yeah, good talking to you again, Wrench, and have fun. And we'll catch you again on the Classic Radio Roundup.
Roger that, gentlemen. You guys have a good night. 73s.